Hey guys, well this is a place I usually come a lot of times to run the stairs, and it's usually a tough 30 minutes, let me tell you. I wanted to share my heart with everyone and kind of what God has done in my life. I know there'll come that day when I'm asked what I do for the kingdom, and I want more than just one page. I wasted a lot of years of my life just indulging in life and loving the world, and I've come to a place in my life. I'm 53 years old. I'm like, you know what? I got a lot of making up to do. And it began probably a couple years ago, and I said, you know what, Lord, show me the truth about myself. Show me who I am, where I need to get fixed, And lo and behold, he did, and there was a lot there that needed to be fixed. And he's put an incredible burden on my heart to share my testimony. And, everybody's got one, and sometimes we're not sure about sharing it because we wonder what people think of us, the things we've done, But I'm here to tell you that is a powerful part of our lives, is for those that believe in God, that, hey, this is what he did for me. They need to hear it. They need to see it in somebody's life. Hey, guys, I drank for a big part of my life, and it caused a tremendous amount of hurt and problems, and there were great consequences from that. And God freed me from it, and I'm so thankful to him that he did. We've all got something that we're dealing with in our lives, and usually it's more than one thing. I often say, when's the next freight train coming in my life, And I needed the Lord to be there because I know they're going to keep coming. And, my life is going to be full of problems and challenges until, they put me in that box, I competed, in bodybuilding, in my 20s, and I even did a comeback in 2004 where, I competed in Mr. Birmingham, and I think I did it the right way that time. But, I've always had a problem with pride. Once you get on stage, and, it's really a great feeling, but, and I always will have pride. I think we all do. I just recognize it more now than I used to. And, recently I've been kind of, talking to my kids about, how God's changed my life. And I kind of want them to, get on the team and come to church with us, and they'll say, well, Daddy, you don't have to go to church, to be saved. I said, you are absolutely correct. I said, let me ask you a question. When you join a football team or a baseball team, do you go to practice? And so they don't really have much to say after I tell them. They said, well, yeah, you got to go to practice. I said, well, that's the same thing. One thing I tell them, instead of, kind of getting on them about all the things they do wrong, and, what I say is, guys, I want to live forever. And I want you and I to live together forever. How cool would that be? And it seems to work. I know my oldest son the other day said, well, Dad, how do we do that? And I said, I'm glad you asked, son. I was so excited when he asked me. I said, go to Romans 10. Paul talks about, you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart, you shall be saved. It's in an instant. And I think he was kind of surprised. I guess he felt like maybe he had to work at it. But that's not the truth. I said, God will work on you after you're saved. And, that's where the journey actually begins. A lot of people, I think, believe like, once I'm saved, I got to be perfect and I'll be a saint. And that is so far from the truth. That's just the beginning of a great journey to where, for me, God just kind of started working on me, and saying, okay, we'll work on this. And it takes time, when you lived a life of sin, and that's what sinners do. They sin, and, God's there to hold your hand through it all, and, that's what they call sanctification. And I just need a lot more fixing, Billy Graham once said, and I always liked him, he said that when Jesus was on the cross, he reached one hand up to the Father and one hand down to mankind, and he reconciled them. He joined them together. And that was a really cool illustration when I heard him say that. And I have never forgotten. DB and I are going to do, we're going to start doing some speaking and kind of share our lives and kind of what God has done, where we were in our first half, where we are today, and how he can change your life. And it's going to be really cool. And what we're trying to do is gather other testimonies of people's lives that have been changed. And because every person has got a testimony, you know, what happens is you have a test in life, and then you have a testimony. It basically explains what happened, you know, what caused the change in this individual. You know, I struggled a long time in my life, and I wish I could have a do-over, but it's the things that I encountered on this journey in life that has led me to this thing. I believe is God knows everything and I don't, and I trust him, and I trust him to the very end. And that's going to be a wonderful day when I sit at that great feast, and I'm hoping that my Lord says to me, hey, we were worried about you in that first half, but you had a great second half. Welcome home. And I want everyone to be there. You know, I share this dream with many people that I had in March of this year. You know, we all have dreams, and, you know, they're not all from God, obviously, but this one was something I will never forget. I was real tired one night. I went to sleep, and I was standing around a bunch of people in my dream, and the next thing I know, I saw this real piercing light. It was probably like 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and at that moment, I knew what that was. And everybody around me was saying, oh my goodness, this is that great day, you know? And I got so scared in my dream, and I kept praying to God, Lord, let me live with you, let me live with you. And lo and behold, he did, and he raised me up, and it was really cool. And the first person I saw was my mom, and she was very young, and that was just an amazing experience. And I hugged her, and then I kind of moved on in the dream, and I began to look for people, you know, that I had, you know, come to know in this life, and I didn't see anybody there. And I got really sad. Now that's crazy. If you are in heaven and you're sad, it doesn't make much sense. It's not what the word promises. So, you know, I woke up from the dream, and, you know, I'm thinking to myself, Lord, what in the world was that all about? So it took me about a week, and this is what I learned from God. He's basically telling me this: as far as you're concerned, Michael, heaven is empty right now. And wow, you talking about a burden, you know, on my heart, thinking, oh my goodness. He says, you've got a lot of work to do. You know, we're not waiting on God. God is waiting on us to do his bidding. And, you know, like that has put an incredible passion in my heart when I had that dream. And I knew, I said, now I know what I've got to do. And whatever the personal cost is to share my testimony, that's okay. Because one day I will have to give an account, you know, and I want to be able to have plenty to talk about for a while up there. So I wanted to share this with you guys today. Anybody that hears it, you know, if you're not saved, you know, it doesn't take long. You know, you just have to be prepared in your heart. Say, Lord, I believe what you said is true, and I accept this free gift, you know, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a pretty cool deal. And, you know, once I really decided to become sold out for the Lord, you know, I just got this peace in my life. You know, I keep this eternal mindset. Man, these freight trains are going to keep coming in my life and in your life. And, you know, if I keep this eternal mindset, you know, what happens here can't be compared to what's going to be in the future, you know? And it helps me to deal with everything that's coming my way in my life. My main thing is I don't want anybody to be lost. And I know what God says is true. I would stake my life on it. And I wanted to reach out and kind of share this with you guys. And I'm hoping that, you know, you guys will hear this message, and maybe a door will open up for you. Love you guys.